Hello everybody, I just wanted to go over what kind of supplies I use in my day-to-day colored pencil work. First I'll go over the papers that I use, the types of paper. Now, what I usually use is the Bristol board. This is one brand that I use, it's called Stonehenge, and it's just basic white paper. And it's smooth surface. It's you also have where you can order a surface that's called vellum, and it has more of a grain to it. But I prefer smooth because it lays down my pencils much more smoothly and has a finer texture, which I like in my work. So that's what I prefer. I also use Strathmore, which I don't have with me right now, but Strathmore has plenty of boards also available, different size pads that are available that I've used before as well, and they're pretty much the same. Stonehenge is a different quality. It's 100% cotton, so that's really good. The other paper that I use is actually a pastel paper. It's from Canson, and they're called Me 10s. And these pads actually have several different colors available in them, and this particular one has earth tones in it. And I'm really starting to love colored paper for colored pencil just because it has such a nice way of allowing your pencils to lay down on this, and it fills any negative space you have on your image. And it adds a really nice touch to background and the colors that you use. They don't just have these earth tones, but they also have pastel tones, they have blues, and a couple of other different ones, and I've really enjoyed using them. I think they're wonderful. Again, they're paper, so they're much thinner. They're not the board. They're intended for pastels, but you can use tons of different things on them, like pastels, colored pencils. You could probably even use just regular graphite on the lighter colors, which would perform well as well. And if you guys are interested at all, I will post a link to these particular pads down in the low bar. I order from Dick Blick, and they're a wonderful company to order any of your art supplies from. They have the media as well as any supplies or equipment you might need, and they're pretty wonderful. I've used them for years and have no complaints from them so far. Now, the colored pencils that I use, I'll just use a handful of them right now because I have a ton. The color pencils that I use are the Prismacolor brand, and they have performed very well over the 15 years that I've used them, and they have a good variety of colors, and I just prefer them because they're what I learned on. They also provide just really nice color and quality in terms of the pencil construction and the way the colors perform. And they also have different varieties of their pencils. They have watercolor pencils available that I've seen. I've never used them, but I'm sure that they're great for some people. Now, I also use, not just in conjunction with the colored pencils, but these are also tools that I use. This is actually a pencil extender when you have a really short pencil that you have a hard time holding. This actually, you can put your pencil in the end here and use it for as long as you can until you can't sharpen it anymore. And this is really good because it makes those pencils last a lot longer than they would if you just had your hands. So this comes in a little kit that is also available from Prismacolor, and they just have a lot of really nice little tools that they sell off from the pencil kits that they have as well. So definitely look into that. They're very useful. They also have, there's certain brands of erasers that they use, and this is a Prismacolor eraser. It lifts some of the color of the pencils that you might put down. Now, it doesn't lift a whole lot, but is good for getting some of the lighter colors up if you want to kind of lighten them up and get some of it up. And it's helped me a little bit in that. And it is useful because it's not like a regular eraser that's just going to smear things around and ruin what you're doing. And this is another great tool by Prismacolor as well. This is kneaded rubber, This is really good because you can actually just blot this down and it kind of sucks up the color. And you can just keep kneading it and use it until it's kind of just becomes crappy, and then you have to throw it away. But it's really good because you can suck up color without really rubbing anything. You just kind of plop it down and it absorbs and it comes right off the paper. And another good use, a good tool to use, is just simple tape, one-sided tape, Scotch tape. Now you have to be a little careful. You can't just rip it off when you do use this. You have to be pretty gentle. Now, what you would do is use a piece of this and smooth it out with your finger and then gently lift it up, and it will take some of the layers of the color off for you when you're wanting to kind of get some of the color off of a mistake that you made, or kind of change the color in a certain area. This definitely helps. It's a trick of the trade that I use, and I definitely suggest you just be very careful with it. You can't just rip it off, because then you might kind of screw up the paper, and then that's no fun. And this is the last thing that I'll go over here that's really good and really important if you want to preserve your drawings. This is Krylon Workable Fixative, and I've been using this for at least 15 years now, since I've been doing this seriously. It's something you use basically to keep the drawing that you have from smearing. It preserves it, and you can actually go back and fix something in one of your drawings even while you've sprayed this. So it's a really good thing to preserve any kind of pencil work that you have. It's good for pastels as well. And it lists a lot of different things that you can use it for too. So it's something that is definitely important if you want to preserve one of your drawings. And then after I've done that, I usually put it in some kind of a protective sleeve, or one of the sleeves in my portfolio folder, just to protect it, to keep it, well cared for, because these things, they are paper. They can degrade over time, so you want to do everything you can to preserve them. Well, I think that's it for now. I will definitely go over more of my tools at a later time, but this is kind of just an intro to the basics. And thank you for watching, if you do, and definitely keep an eye out for more content. I intend to provide more of that as time goes on. Thank you for watching.